Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, thank you all for coming tonight for the Sunday feast. You can now all turn and face this seat, and we'll have our talk for tonight. Our speaker tonight is Nirantara Prabhu, Nirantara Dasa Adhikari. He's back. And tonight, well, first, I'll say something about Nirantara Prabhu, because I know some are not, haven't met him before, some might be here for the first time. Nirantara went to Catholic school until he was 18. All of his education was in Catholic school. And he even went to a Catholic university, St. John's University. And then he left that in 1968, and he became a rock star in with the hippies. He joined the hippie movement, became a bit of a rock star. And he lived like that for some years, until about 1972, when he saw that was not going anywhere good. And then in 1973, he became a student of Srila Prabhupada. In 1974, he took initiation from Srila Prabhupada, became an official student, official disciple. And since then, he's been studying and sharing about Krishna consciousness, and especially using a lot of audio equipment and audio expertise. He has audio books, he has songs written about Krishna. And so tonight he'll give the talk, and his talk is entitled Attaining the Supreme, based on the 8th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. Thank you, Nirantara Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
I promised my dear friend, His Holiness HG Nirantara Swami, that I would ask all of you to pray for him since he's not doing well health-wise. So let's chant the Hare Krishna mantra, everyone. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hey. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hey. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rakshamam. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Pahimam. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshamam. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahimam. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Brinda, Sri Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So the reason I selected the 8th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita is because we are in a particular period called Pitru Paksha, where in Vedic culture we perform religious rituals and devotions for departed ancestors. And so I would like to dedicate this program tonight for my father and mother. And interestingly, my father passed away years ago on Radhashtami. So I find that, oh, that's a good sign. And my mother passed away on Shivaratri. So perhaps they got some I don't know. But as their son, and I did cause them a lot of grief, not becoming a devotee before that. So I owe them. My father was very, very strict Catholic. And although my parents were meat eaters, you could say that was their only vice. They never drank alcohol. They never gambled. And they were very, very strict. I never even saw my parents embrace or kiss. So I have to assume they were strict in that sense also. And my father was active in his church. And I remember, as a young boy, my father belonged to some Catholic group called the Holy Name Society. And I used to go sometimes, but I would only go for the food. And it's still the same now that I'm a devotee. My mother, she was not very religious. My father would go to church almost every day. And my mother didn't like going to church, but she was, you could say, spiritual. So, thank you, parents, allowing me to grow up and gave me some inspiration. And then I met my spiritual master, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And the rest is history. Please repeat. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So Prabhupada, in his Bhagavad-Gita as it is, the 8th chapter he entitles Attaining the Supreme. Now the Supreme can be seen from 3 different angles of vision. The Jnanis, the mental speculators, for them the Supreme is the impersonal Brahman, the effulgence of Krishna. And they are unaware of the personality of Godhead. Their goal, their concept of the Supreme is this Brahma Jyoti. Then the yogis, Their definition of the Supreme is Paramatma, Krishna in the heart. And for us, the devotees, there is the Supreme, Radha Krishna. There is our understanding of the Supreme. Arjuna uvacha king tad brahma kim adhyatmang king karma purushottama. Everybody say purushottama. Good, you get a ding. Adi bhutang chaking proktam adi daivang kim uchyate. So this word, everybody say purushottama. So very, I like this word. I like this name. Yes, Namnamakari Bahuda Nija Sarvachakti. God has unlimited names, each one with specific potency. So Purushottama is two words. Purusha, Uttama. Purusha means person. Uttama, topmost, beyond the material realm. There is another name, one of my also favorite names, Adhokshaja, meaning you cannot perceive God through your microscopes or telescopes or no material access. No. We learned from the Brahma Sanghita, Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena Santaksadaiva Hridayeshu Bilokayanti Yang Shyama Sundaram Achintya Guna Surupam Govindam Adi Purushang Tamahang Bhajami. You want to see God? You really want to see God? Here's what's required. Just like everybody knows, there is this disease of the eyes, cataracts, very painful condition. And in olden times, they would put ointment to relieve the pain of the cataracts. Now they have so many surgeries. So that ointment, the comparison is being made that just like the person whose eyes are afflicted with cataracts, thank you, Jai Srila Prabhupada. So in the same way, we have to smear our eyes with an ointment. What is that ointment? Premanjana, love of God. That's what is necessary to actually see God. As Prabhupada once said, that what is the price of seeing God? What is the price that you have to pay to go back to the kingdom of God? You don't need a visa, no. And you cannot buy a ticket, no. What is required? Lauryam. Intense greed to achieve Krishna. Just like someone who is a big businessman. He wants more money. We see it. He has $1 billion. That's not enough. I want 2 billion, 3 billion, 100 billion. So that greed for more and more wealth. Or lusty man also, Ravana, was never satisfied. More women, more unlimited. Says that Ravana was the incarnation of lust. So there is a different kind of greed, transcendental, spiritual greed. What is that greed? I'll do anything in this lifetime to achieve Krishna. Anything. There's nothing I won't do to achieve Krishna. That is the price to see God, to go back to Godhead. And Prabhupada was quoting a verse by Rupa Goswami. Perhaps our resident scholar can give us that verse. We'll wait 1 second. Yes, very good. Whenever I come, Dravida has to have a microphone. I don't need a microphone. My voice is so loud, but it's for the recording. But go ahead, Dravida.
Okay, this verse is actually composed by Ramananda Roy.
Oh!
It's included in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu.
Ah, okay.
Yes, yes. Krishna Bhakti Rasabhavitamati Kriyatam Yadikatopi Labhyate Tatta Laulyam Api Mulyam Ekaram Janmakoti Sukutayana Labhyate.
Go ahead, explain it.
Okay. So first of all, that first line is the source of the phrase Krishna consciousness. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavitamati. The mati is the mind, and bhavita means absorbed. The mind absorbed in Krishna Bhakti Rasa. Rasa means the relationship with Krishna of love. So that, it says, if you can buy it in some place, you should buy it if you can. But you have to have the price. What is the mulyam? Mulyam is the price. The mulyam is laulyam. Tatta laulyam of the mulyam is the only price. You can practice so many pious activities for millions of births, and you will not get it. But if you can develop that greed for pure Krishna consciousness, then Krishna will respond and you'll be able to attain it. Hare Krishna.
Excellent. Dravida's in the house.
Now you got to give me 30 seconds more. Because there's a verse in the Pajavali where the devotee prays to become a miser, which is after all the epitome of greed, right? Vishayani vichayani vichintani punak punaha kripanasya dhanani vatvananami bhavantunak. Compelled to constantly collect and count his precious hoard, the miser contemplates his wealth with avaricious aims. Please bless me to become a miser who is compelled, O Lord, to constantly collect and count and contemplate your names. So you be greedy for more and more japa.
Jai. Arjuna inquired, "My Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the Self? What are fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me." Ariyagya katang kotra dehesmin madhusudana. Everybody say madhusudana. Prayana kali chakatang gyayausi niyatatma bihi. So this name, Madhusudana, the enemy of the demon Madhu. We get a glimpse of this in Prahlad Maharaj's prayers to Nrsingadev, that at one point Lord Brahma was attacked by two demons, Madhu and Kaitabha, and Krishna appeared as Hayagriva, the golden horse-headed incarnation, and he protected Lord Brahma and killed the two demons. So, Madhusudana, the enemy of the demon Madhu. So, Arjuna is opening this chapter by asking questions, because that's how Bhagavad-Gita goes on. Question, answer. Bhagavatam is the same way. If you study Bhagavatam, conversations within conversations within conversations, sometimes it goes different levels, and wait, who's talking now? You have to read carefully, not like some Harry Potter. No. This is high grade. This is college religion. This is actually postgraduate work. So you are all advanced. Give yourselves a hand. Come on. You deserve it. Otherwise, you would have been gone already and come back just for the food. That happens, you know. So Arjuna is opening by asking questions. Who was the Lord of Sacrifice? How does he live in the body, O Madhusudana? Now here's the real, for me, the most important of all these questions. And how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? Ah, that's, as they say, muy importante. Very important. So Arjuna has asked his questions, and of course, Krishna is the guru, because in chapter 2, Arjuna surrendered, even though Krishna and Arjuna were lifelong friends. And there are so many episodes in the Mahabharata, in the Bhagavatam, Krishna and Arjuna, they did many things together. Krishna did a lot for Arjuna. But at this time, no more friendly talks. Arjuna said to Krishna, I'm confused. I'm bewildered. Now you become my guru. No more friends. Tell me the straight sauce. Just like, you don't know, but earlier when Dravida entered, we have a nice relationship. So I asked him immediately, what is my instruction? And he's also my guru. Immediately, okay? It's not this, it's not this. Thank you. Yes. So Krishna assumed the position because Arjuna said, Shishiste hung shadimang twang prapanam. Prapanam, I surrender. I'm not going to argue. I'm going to surrender. So Krishna assumed the role of guru, teacher. So let's see what Krishna has to say. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Aksharang Brahma Paramang Shvabhavod Yatman Uchyate Bhutabhavod Bhavakkaro Visarga Karma Sangitaha. Sometimes the question is asked, why doesn't the Gita say Sri Krishna Uvacha? Why did Vyasadeva? Because this Gita comes from the Mahabharata. So the question is sometimes raised. Why does he say Sri Bhagavan Uvacha instead of Krishna Uvacha? And of course, our Guru, Srila Prabhupada, answers it. That Vyasadeva doesn't want the reader to have any confusion. Because if he put Sri Krishna Uvacha, some people may misunderstand and see, oh, just some cowherder boy is... No. By using the word Bhagavan, that makes it serious. Oh, God is speaking, the possessor of all opulences. So it makes it authoritative so that the reader takes it seriously. So he answers, the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and its eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self. Yesterday, I gave class in the morning in ISKCON, Los Angeles, and I was making a point, and I want to see if Dravida concurs, that when I went to Catholic school, catechism, I was taught that the soul is actually created and from that point on becomes eternal. But that's not our, is it? Good. Yes. Our definition of eternal is always existed. Past, present, and future. So I like to joke, you better get used to yourself because you're not going away. Now, if you don't like who you see in the mirror, then change. And how do you change? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Even, it's very clear, it's not just one reference. Krishna says, the soul has never born and never dies. So there is no such thing as creation of the soul. We always existed as an individual. Action pertaining to the development of material bodies is called karma. And yesterday I was asked by one of my godbrothers, that what is the fault of living life in the mode of goodness. He can understand mode of passion and ignorance is bad, but mode of goodness is good. So this is the answer. Yes, mode of goodness still means you have to take on another car lease. We are leasing this body. It's like you buy a car or lease a car, right? At a certain time, got to change it up. So the body is just like that. It doesn't really belong to us. It's on loan. So even in the mode of goodness, that is not sufficient to give you liberation. No. Mode of goodness means you can go to the planets of the demigods or planets of the rishis, even the planet of Lord Brahma. But you're still a prisoner. You're still within the confines of the material world. And our goal is break on through to the other side. Yes, we want to go beyond this material world to the place known as, not Mar-Logo, Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha, the place where there is no anxiety. There's only one place in San Diego that's close to that, right here. This temple is an embassy of Vaikuntha. But Prabhupada warned us, you have to create a Vaikuntha atmosphere. And I saw somebody wearing a shirt. Anyway, to create the Vaikuntha atmosphere requires cooperation. That's how this temple, or any temple, goes on. I've said, not just here, in other places I go, there are many things about this temple that I really like. But from what I see cooperation. And that is your success. Give yourselves another hand. You deserve it. You cooperate. Therefore, the atmosphere is very nice. It's a privilege to come here. Yes. Yes, the drive is long. It's an hour drive from where I live. That's okay, because I know I'm going to Vaikuntha. Adi bhutang sharo bhava purushas-chadi daivatang adiyagyoham evatra deha britang vara. O best of embodied beings, the physical nature, which is constantly changing, is called adibhuta, the material manifestation. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods, like those of the sun and moon, is called Adidaiva. So here, Krishna is helping us to understand who are these demigods. What are they? Krishna's servants. They're administrators of the universal affairs. And it says here, they're parts of this universal form of the Lord. So they're subservient. They're not equal. No one is equal to or greater than Krishna. That has to be understood. Therefore, very early in the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada introduces this word, asamaudva. Asamaudva means no one is equal to Krishna, no one is above Krishna. Or in the words of Krishnadas Kaviraj, who compiled the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ekale Ishwara Krishna ar Sabha Britya. Krishna alone is the supreme controller, everyone else, servant. Where does it begin? Balaram. Even Radharani herself says, I am Krishna's maidservant. So, and even Krishna, more than once, says in Gita, my favorite line, Mattak parataram nanyat. There is no truth superior to me. Krishna told that to Arjuna in the previous chapter. Mattak parataram nanyat. No truth superior to me. Okay. And I, the Supreme, so here, Krishna is once again, I, the Supreme Lord, represented as super soul in the heart of every embodied being, am called Adhi Yagya, the Lord of Sacrifice. Me personally, I love this concept of Krishna in the heart. I love it. You may believe or not believe, that's okay. But I remember at the age of 5, sitting on the front steps of my house, nice spring day. And at the age of 5, I had this thought, God is in my heart. Now that's not taught in the Catholic religion. It's not taught. So, how did I get that? That's a clue that perhaps in a previous life, I was a devotee. What do you think? Right? I didn't see that on the Ed Sullivan Show. I didn't see that on Mickey Mouse Club. And it wasn't taught. But I instinctively knew that. And then when I read Bhagavad-Gita, I said, oh my God, it's true. Haribo! Yes, I love this concept of Krishna in the heart. Okay, now we get, here it is. I told you, the most important question for me, how can those at the time of death know you? Let's see how superior you are. Please repeat. Antakale chamam eva. Okay, good. But you can go a little stronger. Smaran muktva kalevaran. This side's a little weak, come on. Yak prayati samad bhavang. Little better. Yati nastyatra sangshayaha. Not bad. I'll give you a few rings. Here's the verse. And whoever at the end of life quits the body remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Now this is significant. So, that's what we call the final exam. When you went to school, high school, whatever, there was always a final exam. And depending on the teacher, that final exam was waitlisted in terms of your grade. If you did good, it might have boosted your final grade. So the final exam is called the moment of death. Therefore, life is a series of tests. That's all it is. And how do you pass the test? Remembering Krishna. That's the key. So when people say, why do you keep repeating Krishna, Krishna, Krishna? Because we are practicing. Like the athletes, the professional athletes who make a gazillion dollars for bouncing a ball or throwing a ball or hitting a ball, while the devotees like Dravida have a few pennies because you don't play a ball. No, you chant japa and shlokas. But this is Kali Yuga. The Shudras are elevated and the Brahmins are considered useless. So, remembering, so why are we doing? So that we can practice to remember Krishna at the time of death. I've said so many times, you can test how you have done when you're driving here in Southern California, right? The cars are going zoom, 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 right? And there's always that demon, right? He cuts you off. What comes out of your mouth? Ha, 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 ha. Yes, good. Very good. Yes. If, when that happens, the name Krishna comes out, you've passed. Something else comes out, okay, you got work to do. Because that's what it's going to be. It's not that you're going to get a text message, oh, you're going to die in 5 minutes. No. No, it doesn't work that way. Death comes when you least expect it. Yes. So we practice. The athletes the athletes also get up 4:30, 5 o'clock. Just like the devotees, 4:30, right? Mangal Artik is 4:30, right? You got to get, of course. Can't come in your pajamas. Yes, you have to shower, right? So these athletes are also getting up and doing their sadhana, bouncing a ball 1,000 times. We do our practice, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. We're actually athletes, transcendental athletes, practicing for that moment of death. Now, notice what it says here, Madbhavang. You attain my nature, not that you become Krishna. That's Mayavad philosophy. We're not chanting to become Krishna or merge with Krishna. No. We want to attain Krishna's nature. What is Krishna's nature? Sat, Chit, Ananda. Now, we are by nature Sat, Chit, Ananda, but because of this material body, it's covered. Just like I'm wearing a jacket, a kurta, so you don't see my chest, right? It's covered. But I'm in there. So, we are by nature eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss. But you could say we have amnesia. We have forgotten. And we identify with what we see in the mirror. And when you're young and pretty and vibrant, oh, I like what I see. But when you get to my age, oh, God. And then I remember, oh, thank God that's not me. That's not who I am. I've yet to see the real me. So we regain, Prabhupada uses that word, regain, reawaken. Different words Prabhupada uses to indicate that our original situation is eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss. And I just read, what is the definition of full knowledge? The definition, what I read, is that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you come to that point, just like I've said it, the very first verse I memorized back in 1973, when I would go on the subways and distribute books, and I followed the example of my godbrother, Pushkar. He had his index cards, and every morning he'd go through his index cards, memorizing shlokas. Javita's been doing that for 50-odd years. I mean, he must have I don't think anybody knows as many shlokas as you. So the first one I memorized, the verse said that one who knows me, Krishna says, one who knows me as God without doubting is the knower of everything. So it's the same concept. The essence of the chit potency, knowledge potency, is that Krishna is the supreme God and I'm his eternal servant. So if we can remember Krishna at the time of death, then we will regain our status. Because if you want to have a relationship with Krishna, you have to be on the transcendental platform. You can't remain on the material platform. You have to actually reach the spiritual platform. You have to become, what does Krishna say? Brahma Bhuta. Regain your spiritual status. There is a statement by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was having a discussion with Sanatana Goswami. And Lord Chaitanya was saying that at the time of initiation, Krishna accepts you as good as himself. Think about that. At the time of initiation, Krishna accepts you as good as himself. Pretty nice. Something to meditate. Something to think about. All right. And then again, Krishna says, of this there is no doubt. So the test is, can you remember Krishna at the time of death? And then Krishna gives the logic behind it, or the science behind it. Yang yang vapi swaran bhavang tyajati ante kalevaram tang tam ebaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavataha. O son of Kunti, whatever state of being one remembers when quitting the body, that state one will attain without fail. That's the science. And Hindu people know very well the story of Bharat, right? How many know the story of Bharat? Yes. Bharat was this close to perfection. He was so close. He was actually experiencing transcendental feelings, emotions. But he made a fatal mistake. He became attached to a deer. So much so that his sadhana started to wane. And he became more and more interested in the deer. And he knew that this was happening. He noticed how his spiritual practices were slackening. So at the time of death, what did he remember? The deer. So Krishna had to teach him a lesson. All right, take a birth as a deer. But he was given a benediction. As a deer, he knew who he was, why he was, and what he needs to do. So he realized, uh-oh, I blew it. All because I became attached to a deer. Now, as a side note, not you, but I know where I live, I call it dog loca. I live in an area with 600 units. And every morning when I'm going out for japa or whatever, early in the morning, they come out. Some have one dog, some have two dogs, some 3 dogs. Unlimited, so I call it dog loca. And they render such good service for the dog with the plastic bag. And I'm thinking, so my wife, no dog. No. Thank you, my wife. So we have to be careful of our attachments. That's something we have to consider. Where are my attachments? You could say the perfection is Kunti. When Krishna was leaving to go back to Dwarka after the Kurukshetra war, Krishna was getting on his chariot. Kunti stopped him and offered prayers. And one of her prayers was, sever my tie of affection for my family members. Why? Because it's based on this bag of skin. And then she says, let my attention be fixed on you alone. Same thing Krishna is saying here. So Kunti is very, very smart, very elevated, very advanced. Her prayers in the Bhagavatam, very nice prayers. Prabhupada lectured in Los Angeles, in Mayapur, series of lectures on Queen Kunti's prayers. What's that? Well, I can't. You got to use the mic, Maharaj.
Of lectures on Kunti's prayers started in Brooklyn.
Ah, Brooklyn.
I had just joined. Prabhupada came and he was speaking on those prayers.
Jai, thank you for sharing. Leave your mic on. You never know when I'm going to call on you. Here comes a very, very practical verse that all of us can easily execute. This verse, I like this verse. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudyacha my arpita mano buddhir mam evaishyasi asangshaya. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in this form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting, because the whole purpose of Bhagavad-Gita for Arjuna is to pick up his weapon and fight. That's the whole for Arjuna. So here Krishna is saying, I'm not letting you off the hook, because in the beginning, Arjuna dropped his bow and told Krishna, I'm not going to fight. But that's when he said, but I'm confused, you instruct me. So, as the Gita has gone on, so many things were said, then Krishna says, therefore, get up and fight. The theme remains consistent. So here he is saying, carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. That's his duty. I've given the example so many times. You're in your house. Somebody is attacking. Somebody is coming to rob. So you'll call the police. Come, save us. We're being attacked. Now, how would you feel if the policeman went to your door and said, well, maybe, I don't know if I want to go in. Right? How would you feel? You would feel like, wait a second. He's not doing his duty. Just like, was it last year down in Texas, Uvalde, right? There was so many guns and nobody did anything. Nobody. Children died. It was a complete failure. They didn't do anything. They were all afraid. So Krishna chastised Arjuna. So he wants him to do his prescribed duty of fighting. Now us, how does it apply to us? Well, different levels. Those who are fully surrendered to this movement, we have declared war on Maya. We have declared war on the illusory energy. We have declared war on atheism, gross materialism. We see ourselves as soldiers in Prabhupada's army to defeat Maya, right? Or you all have prescribed duties, everyone, even children. Children have 2 prescribed duties. Obey the parents, go to school. Parents like me now, right? Yes. Yes. No, that's, children have duty. Oh, I always say that. Whenever families come up, I've done it for 20 years. Whenever families come up with their children, I always tell the children, if you want Krishna's blessings, you have to obey your parents. Yes, Prabhuji. Then I give them blessing. If they don't say that, no blessing. So, children have prescribed, women, you have so much prescribed duties. Oh my God. You guys are doing so much. Men, you know you have prescribed duties. Devotees, we have prescribed duties. Balaram, our wonderful temple president, has so many prescribed duties. Let's bless Balaram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. But whether I'm a student, householder, homemaker, businessman, tech, right? Some of you are high tech, right? You all have so many jobs, right? That's okay. You should do your job, but think of Krishna. Remember Krishna. Not just, I do my job. It's not that at the end of life, Yamaraj, what are you doing? I did my job. But did you remember Krishna? That's the other part. You have to always, yes, do your duty, but remember Krishna. With your mind and intelligence fixed upon me, you will attain me without a doubt. Attain Krishna means to have his association. And we know there are different relationships with Krishna. Passive adoration. God, oh Krishna. It's amazing. Or you may want to do a particular service for Krishna eternally. Like, I don't know about you, Dravida, but I would like to sing for Krishna forever. I would love that. And I didn't hear what you said. You got to say it in the mic.
I'll be there to listen to you.
No, I think you'll be much higher. You'll be in Krishna's inner circle. You'll be editing whatever. Messages from the gopis. Wait a second. You told me
I'm in trouble for that here, and now I'm going to get in trouble for that up there.
Or you can become friends with Krishna. Play with him. Wrestle with him. Or you can have feelings like a parent. You have children, right? This is, just imagine Krishna, your child, huh? You know how much wonderful it is to have a daughter, right? Right? Now just think, you could have that same feelings with Krishna. Yes. Or you can dance with Krishna. Dance with him. Kiss and embrace. Yes. All this is possible. Prabhupada said that the goal of this Krishna consciousness movement is to become one of the Gopi Janas. Think about that. Yes. There is great opportunity in this movement. Great opportunity. Okay. We have time. Okay. We have 5 minutes. Dravida, give whatever corrections or whatever you...
No corrections.
You get 5 minutes.
Okay, I don't need 5 minutes. I need 1 minute. Kunti's prayer near the end. This is my favorite. I think one of your favorite. Try me ananya vishaya matir madhupate asakrit rataman vahatara dha genge valgamadanvati. O Krishna, kindly ever fill my mind with thoughts of thee, not any other kind. As Ganges torrent flows into the sea, let all my love flow constantly to thee. And one more. The Keval Ashtika, my favorite verse in the Keval Ashtika about the holy name, and exactly the theme that you were putting. You have to always remember Krishna, and the best way is to always chant Hare Krishna. So that's what this verse is about. Nikshvase nahi vishvaso katarudho bhavishyati kirtaniya mata balyad hare namaiva kevalam. Remember that our final breath may come at any time, no matter if we're old and sick or in our youthful prime. So young and old alike should chant the name incessantly. The holy name of Shri Hari is surely all that be.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Everybody. Thank you for being such a nice audience. And if you will agree, I will give you all a blessing for whatever it's worth. My blessing to you is that this temple remains in Vaikuntha atmosphere. And I pray that all of you learn more and become more and more faithful to remembering Krishna at every moment, so that you will pass the final exam with flying colors. Sometimes I make a joke that if I have to take birth again, all right, as I'm coming out of the womb of my mother, I want to be able to say, Hare Krishna, and give the doctor a heart attack. Thank you very much. May Krishna bless you, protect you. All glories to ISKCON San Diego, the happiest place on earth. Haribol.